So if you're watching this video, chances are you're currently renting and possibly considering becoming a homeowner, or you're currently a homeowner and considering upsizing, downsizing, or moving laterally. And just like the title suggests, I want to answer the question of whether or not we're headed for a market crash. Because let's face it, with all the political crap that's out there, super high inflation, and economic uncertainty, this has got to be one of the top concerns with you folks out there. And I'm sure you've heard all the speculation out there from media, pundits, economists, heck, even your uncle that's telling you now isn't a good time to buy a home. Yet, despite these concerns, the market continues to remain resilient. However, the question remains, will we see a market crash and a repeat of 2008? And if so, what does that mean for you and your new investment? So first, we have to separate the idea of recession and real estate housing market crash. While recession might be looming, it's not necessarily tied to a collapse in our home values. But don't listen to me. Take a look at some of these charts. As you can see here, we've been through plenty of recessions in history. And you'll notice the only one that actually had a real estate market crash was in 2008. You may ask yourself, why is that? Well, if the recession itself is caused by real estate and mortgage malpractice based on fraud and greed, then absolutely you can tie the two together. Recession in that year equaled a collapse in home values. But to briefly ground this discussion as to what actually took place in 2008, I want you to understand that banks and mortgage institutions were providing super risky loans on some prime basis and continued to feed the machine. And once the homeowners started to default on their adjustable rate mortgages, the economic collapse began. And this led to a dramatic drop in our home values, in addition to an increase in foreclosures nationally. But today's market is different. Currently, as a mortgage lender, we're not lending out subprime loans. Everyone that's purchasing is actually qualified. We've got an inventory shortage everywhere, with plenty of home buyers sitting on the fence. So basic logic tells you that if values are currently sustaining where they're at, and interest rates happen to drop down, which means that the economy is not doing so great, simple supply and demand tells you that home values would continue to rise, thus making this discussion full circle, proving that a recession is not directly tied to home values. So if you've been considering purchasing a home and currently putting it on the back burner, wondering what's going to happen in the months to come, it's obvious to see that waiting could cost you big in the long run. And I hope that this hit home for plenty of you out there, pun intended. But if you like this content, make sure to tune in weekly on Key Factors Podcast Real Estate AF, where I, Mark Jones, your host, have intellectual and in-depth discussions with other experts around the mortgage and real estate industry. And if you got something out of this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So make sure to leave me a comment below. But thanks for watching, and make today count.